Attention, stations on the network. Our broadcast will begin in 1 minute from my mark. In five, four, three, two, one, mark. That was your 1 minute time check, stations.
On the Texas State Sports Network from Learfield. Welcome to the Eat 'em Up Radio Show with head football coach G.J. Kinne. The Texas State football season is presented by HEB. Here, everything's better. Here are Clint Shields and Brent Freeman.
And welcome to the Eat 'em Up Radio Show, coming to you from downtown San Marcos from Jimmy's. Brent Freeman alongside Clint Shields, a big show ready for you here tonight as we look ahead to next Tuesday's game against JMU from UFCU Stadium. Clint, as always, asking how your Margarita Mondays are going. How's this one for you today?
Going well. Good to be here in my favorite time of year. Tuesday night football coming up a week and a day from today.
Yes, and a programming note, because of that, there will not be an Eat 'em Up radio show next Monday as the team prepares first game the following night. Well, coming up in the show tonight, we're going to look back at the game this past Saturday in Huntington, West Virginia against Marshall. We'll look ahead at the game against JMU next Tuesday. Our guests tonight, two great ones, legends at Texas State, former quarterback great, current running backs coach Barrett Neely will join us, as will head women's basketball coach Zinner Antoine. We also have questions coming from the fans as well. But first, let's introduce the head coach of the Bobcats, G.J. Kinne.
Thank you.
Coach, as always, appreciate you being here with us each and every Monday and doing a start with what was another tough overtime loss this past Saturday against Marshall, a game that went into double overtime. That's 3 games now for the Sun Belt, coming down to literally the final play of the game. What were your takeaways from this past Saturday against the Thundering Herd?
Yeah, just we got to find a way to win those close ones, and 3 weeks in a row. You know, tough, heartbreaking loss for us. But we'll respond and get back to work, and a little bit different schedule. We gave the guys off yesterday, and today we'll get back at it tomorrow. So, get more of a feel for the team tomorrow.
Again, you had over 500 yards of offense. That's 3 straight games for you now. Some play that you've done that. And I look at Brad Jackson just himself, over 440 yards passing, over 90 yards rushing. So he himself over 500 yards of offense. How much has he continued to progress in his redshirt freshman season?
Yeah, Brad's a stud, and he's doing a bunch of really, really good things. Obviously, you watch the film, there's some things we got to clean up, but at the same time, he's putting us in a position to win football games as a redshirt freshman, and really at a pretty dominant pace. So obviously, that's a good sign, for the Bobcats, and I have a lot of confidence going down this stretch because of Brad.
Not only did Brad shoulder a big load for you offensively, but I look at the other side of the football and Traylon Payne. My goodness, what a game! Yeah. A program record 24 tackles this past Saturday against Marshall. It was named the Sun Belt Conference Defensive Player of the Week. Traylon's been in your program now all 3 seasons. What did he show you this past Saturday?
Yeah, just a guy that's really grown up, and someone that I was kind of waiting for this moment. He's played really well all season, but that's what we see in spring ball. That's what we see in fall camp as a guy that's capable of having 15 plus tackles every week, and he just really matured and really has come on this year, and just super proud of him and the person he's become and the player he's become. He's just I think he's really changed his life being at Texas State, and so you always pull for guys like that.
A couple other notes on he and Brad Jackson, Traylon Payne. That's the most tackles in Jones C. Edwards Stadium history, by the way. and the third most ever against Marshall, and the most since 1976. They've been playing football since 1895,
Yeah.
so they've played a lot of football games. It was an historic day on several fronts for Traylon over the weekend. But talking about him and being back here, he chose to come back, for you for this
Yep.
season. How big does his presence factor into not only this year, but the guys who are here and will follow, and even guys to come in the future?
You talking about T-Pain?
Talking about Payne, yeah.
Yeah, he's like I said, man, he's really changed his life and had an opportunity, like you said, to go other places, but he chose to stay here, and it's really paying off for him. And hopefully more guys follow suit in that going forward.
Brad Jackson's 444 yards passing, the third most ever by a Marshall opponent. So another, big number for the Bobcats to throw out. 114 yards rushing, well below your season average. They made it tough to run the ball all day long. Were you surprised by how aggressively that they attacked the box when they thought you were going to run the football?
I think, just looking what we've done the last couple of weeks. I mean, I'm not saying we anticipated it to be like that, but we figured they'd have a plan to stop the run, and even with that said, we still had, you know, we probably should have ran the ball a little bit better at times, but when a team takes away that, they're light in other areas, and that was
Sure.
the unique thing about their defense. Technically, they still had bodies to stop the pass, but I think our guys did really well in the one-on-one situations. Talk about a guy like Chris Don that really had a big game, beating a lot of one-on-ones. Bo Sparks, and then a lot of times when you're blitzing and stopping the run, you have opportunities for the quick screens like you saw with Bo Sparks get
Yeah.
out and take it to the house. So I thought we did a good enough job offensively to win the game, but really. If you really go back and study it, I thought, a couple drives here or there, we could have put the game away, and we weren't able to do that.
Bo Sparks, 168 on 9 and a touchdown. Chris Dawn, 180 on 5 catches and no touchdowns. Amazingly, he doesn't get in the end zone with those kinds of numbers. Titus Lyons, his second touchdown reception of the season. The tight ends, they've been more involved in the passing game this season. What's the overall impact of that and the flexibility that it gives the offense when you've got guys now that are making that impact from the tight end spot?
Yeah, it's been great. It's really opened up our offense, and I would say it's really helped our run game and our pass game, and those guys are very unselfish, and we've had really good players in that room the last couple of years. It's been awesome to see Titus really come and score some touchdowns. Every time he scores, it makes me happy just because
Yeah.
of the type of person he is and what he's meant to this program the last couple of years.
Obviously, it's a disappointing end to the day. It's 3 weeks, that you're searching for one play here, one play there, and it makes the difference. And Jeff and I talk about this, and you and I have as well, Brent.
Mhm.
You and I have as well the margin for error in the Sun Belt. I
Yep.
mean, it's just so razor thin. It's not uncommon through tough stretches like this for fans to react negative, more than
Sure.
positive. If you've got a chance to just maybe address negative feelings or feelings of being down by fans, and to Bobcat Nation, what do you say knowing the 5 games that are left in front of you and still everything that's out there to play for?
Yeah, I understand it's tough, and it's a win or lose business, and we're right there. You woulda, coulda,
Yeah,
shoulda, a bunch of things, but we're working extremely hard to get it fixed. And the good thing is, you look out there at practice and you see the type of guys that we have. There's great opportunity to get things fixed. There's great opportunity to get some wins on the horizon. But I know the schedule doesn't get any easier. I
no,
know
it
that,
doesn't.
so that means for us, we have to continue to get better, and I do think you're seeing us get better. And going into the season, we do have a young team and a bunch of guys, a bunch of new faces. So not that I expected for it to go like this, but I knew there'd be some bumps in the roads, and we are continuing to get better. That is one thing, offensively and defensively and special teams. Each week in the Sun Belt, we have gotten better. So I guess that's one positive. The offense is playing at an extremely high level. So we're going to be in all these games. It's just
Yeah.
going to come down to, can we finish it or not?
Coach, we would be remiss if we didn't ask you about the end of regulation. The first two Sun Belt Conference games, two tough kicks missed by Tyler Robles, the
Yeah.
point after at Arkansas State, the potential winner against Troy. Then you line up for a 50-yarder on the road in a hostile environment. There was the attempt to ice Tyler before the potential game-tying kick, in which he took a practice kick and missed. He comes back out there and drills it right between the uprights, sends you into overtime. How redeeming was that for Tyler Robles?
Yeah, I hope that gave him a lot of confidence, and my faith hasn't wavered in him. I know that. I know he's a really good kicker, and he's human. He's made some mistakes, but I know going down the stretch, just like I told him, last week in practice, we're going to need you moving forward. I didn't know it'd come down to that situation, but um, he's doing some good things as well, and we're definitely going to need him down this stretch, the last 5 games.
Well, Coach did mention the schedule not getting any easier. The Bobcats will take on Sunbelt leading JMU next Tuesday. A game we'll preview coming up next on the Texas State Sports Network. This is the Eat 'em Up Radio Show from Learfield.
Hi, this is Fox San Antonio's Chuck Picatinny, and I'm News 4's Don Harris. One of the best things about our jobs is calling the games on Taco Cabana's Thursday Night Lights every Thursday on CW35. Goes right and then takes it right back up the middle and looking to finish the run. Firing, got it, hard! If you're interested in video production, journalism, or covering sports for a living, our stations have job opportunities you might want to check out. To see the possibilities, go to foxsanantonio.com/careers.
At Christus Santa Rosa Hospital San Marcos, we are proud to provide comprehensive health care to our San Marcos and Central Texas families. From advanced cardiovascular, bariatrics, orthopedic, and surgical care to 24/7 emergency care. In partnership with a team of dedicated primary and specialty care physicians, we are privileged to care for our rapidly growing San Marcos and Central Texas communities. We're here when you need us, bringing more physicians, more services, and more technology closer to home. Christus Santa Rosa Hospital San Marcos. Your health, your life, our purpose.
When my paycheck comes, I always plan lunch with my friends. So getting to do that 2 days early really hits the spot.
At UFCU, we help you make the most of your money. With over 55,000 fee-free ATMs and payment up to 2 days early, finances fit your life, not the other way around.
Oh, and splitting the check is simple. Just an easy transfer right from the app.
Become a member and open an account today. UFCU, it all starts with you. Must meet eligibility requirements. Visit ufcu.org for more information. Federally insured by NCUA.
Texas Disposal Systems is proud to be part of the San Marcos community since 2003, keeping the stadium clean and environmentally friendly. Bobcat fans, let's make a difference together. Do your part by recycling properly at all games. For more tips and info, visit texasdisposal.com. Texas Disposal Systems. Noticeably different, noticeably better.
We are back on the Eat 'em Up Radio Show with GJ Kinne from Jimmy's in San Marcos. Glad to have you with us on this Margarita Monday. Our opponents preview, our scouting report brought to you by Sinclair Broadcasting. As we start talking about football again, not Saturday, Tuesday, a week from tomorrow. So no show next Monday, but a football game 8 days from now or 8 nights from now, 7 o'clock kick at UFCU Stadium. Hope we see you there. Coach, you touched on it a minute ago. Wish I could say it gets easier, but it doesn't. The East leading, and I think preseason fave in the East in the Sun Belt, James Madison in here. And, I think before we start talking about the Dukes, you touched on it a little bit. How does that Tuesday setup, we're Monday a week away, kind of affect your practice schedule? When does your good on good period kind of move to, and you got to kind of massage the next few days?
Yeah, it is a little different. I'm actually a day behind right now because we gave everybody off yesterday, just kind of unwind and see your family a little bit. We got back in the office today, but the players off Sunday, Monday, and then we'll be back at it on Tuesday. But then we still have a couple of days extra there, so it won't be full out practice on Tuesday, but we'll get some good on good work and make sure we get after it, stay sharp. And then, kind of leading up to, I believe Friday is an actual Tuesday. So you got to have to do some of those things. But guys will be ready tomorrow. Yeah. They had to, come in and do their medical check yesterday and all that. Then we give them today just their regular Monday, academic Monday.
Bob Chesney, in his second year as head coach at JMU, he didn't exactly inherit an empty cupboard when he came into to James Madison. He's made the most of his time there. How well do you know him? What are your early impressions of the Dukes this season?
Yeah, I don't know him too well, just from the head coaches meetings. And but man, he's done a tremendous job really everywhere he's been, and has those guys rolling right now. I know that they are very, very good.
Many teams, take on the personality of their head coach. I think we just saw that with Marshall and Tony Gibson, a defensive-minded guy. And that is what he's trying to get across to his team. That is how they play. Applying that logic to a Chesney team, this JMU team, what do you see out of them versus, offense, defense? What do you think that they're kind of their focus is.
Yeah, seen a little bit of their offense, more focused on their defense so far early in the week. But defensively, it'll be the best defense we played so far. Maybe include Arizona State. As good
Yeah,
as Arizona State is,
sure.
statistically, I think they're the only FBS team in the country that hasn't given up 300 yards of offense so far. Really active front, really good secondary, a bunch of turnovers. Linebackers are really good. Just they're smart, they're aggressive, they're multiple. They'll hop out of different fronts, 4 down, 3 down, and just really good. New defensive coordinator's done a tremendous job there, and just throws a bunch at you with really good players. So they're complicated and talented, and like I said, nobody's had over 300 yards of offense. I think Old Dominion had 285 in the first half, and then I think 10 yards in the second
Yeah,
half.
they didn't. They kind of didn't come out of the locker room. It looked like
Yeah.
based on scores. So.
Yeah.
Well, Coach, you kind of went through the numbers, and that's what I saw this afternoon as well, getting ready for the show, looking at JMU, and the numbers just jump off the page, offensively, defensively, special teams included as well. Are the Dukes as good on film as they appear to be on paper?
Yes, for sure. Offensively, like I said, I haven't got to dive into that all, but obviously I saw what the quarterback did this past week, and his stats were pretty crazy, video game type numbers. So, um, you know, I'll know more about those guys on offense later in the week, but obviously I know they're talented and have scored a bunch of points as well.
Yeah, those guys, I mean, quarterback Alonzo Barnett, the third for the Dukes, a first-year quarterback in their system, and then Wayne Knight, the running back, has been, one of the top backs in the Sun Belt Conference this season, one of the top all-purpose players in the entire country. I know you haven't broken down their offense completely yet, but we know on paper at least that they're very balanced. What they want to do, they can throw, they can run the ball very effectively with both quarterback and running back. What is it like to prepare for a team that's so balanced on offense?
Yeah, it's tough. Just brings, you have to defend, the whole field. And, the quarterback, obviously, we know he's a good player. He was actually there previously. I think he started last year, got hurt, and I think he was there when McLeod was there as well. And maybe won that job, and then Jordan came in and played really well, and ended up winning the job from there on out. But I believe he was there for a little bit. And obviously, they brought in Sluka from UNLV that was with Coach at Holy Cross.
Yeah.
So he's still there. They use him in a lot of Wildcat packages. He's a really talented player. Obviously, like I said, I think they're one of the top rushing attacks in the Sun Belt, if not the top. So, they definitely have a bunch of weapons, a really good quarterback, a good offensive line, a good scheme. So, very, very balanced. Something that I would expect from a James Madison, a very balanced attack.
Again, the game is next Tuesday. So you're not literally going from one Saturday to the next. You have a few extra days to get ready for this game. What does the extra time allow you to do?
I think one, get healthy, which we've came out the last couple of games, decently healthy, which has been a positive. And then just really dive into your own scheme, dive into the opponent, and just try to put the best game plan, together on a Tuesday night.
You went through the beginning of the preparation for Jamie earlier about giving the players the yesterday off, for example. But again, the Tuesday game is such a strange dynamic. How much does it disrupt routine for you?
It definitely is a little bit, different for sure. But I would say the biggest thing is even with the games the last couple of weeks, we're going to need a good crowd. Obviously, I think we want to represent Texas State on the national stage very well as far as moving forward and what it looks like, for our athletic program, but also for our current players. I know that that'll be huge, and getting the students out there, getting as many people in the stands, creating a home field advantage. And it's going to be a really good game versus, probably the best team in the Sun Belt. So, a lot to look forward to, and it should be a really exciting game.
You mentioned JMU being at the top, and they are. They're the number one rushing offense. Texas State, the number two rushing offense. So, pretty good rushing offense is obviously going to be on display. Fantastic individual talent. One of those rare occasions when you've got we may have a new, I guess, it'll be this week's Players of the Week. A week later, squaring off. One of them happens to be on your sideline, thankfully, this week versus the last 2 weeks when you face the defensive guy. But talking to Alonzo Barnett here, They use him in the run game also, as well as throwing it around. How do they do it with him? Direct runs, zone reads. What do they do with him that makes him difficult to stop?
I haven't got to watch this past game. I've just watched the defense so far. I usually get to that tomorrow,
Yeah.
which would be today. But um, just watching their offense previously and kind of knowing his skill set, they'll do a little bit of everything: design runs, a bunch of quarterback scrambles. I know they put Sluke in a lot of times for those quarterback runs, but it looks like maybe in conference, kind of settling on one guy and letting him kind of do both, getting him to a rhythm, which I think is always helpful for a quarterback. But yeah, he can do a little bit of everything.
As a coach, you see that where Sluka, you mentioned, comes in, and I saw that earlier in the season when they were doing a lot of quarterback rotation. He came in. It's not that he can't throw, but I mean, he was, if 9 snaps out of 10, he was going to run the football. Defensively, do you maybe key on that a little bit? And really, you're expecting him to carry the football should you see him back there.
Yeah, you always think that, but obviously he's a quarterback too. It's not like a running back there. So we know he can throw it. He has a history of playing quarterback. So, you got to be ready for everything when he's back there.
You've started breaking down, their defense first. As you mentioned, I think offensively for you, what's the biggest challenge you see thus far out of what JMU puts on the field?
I think their D line is exceptional. They play really hard. So far, breaking them down, I think that front seven, the D line will straight get after you, and they've had a history of that. Even going back when Signetti was there, and their D line play is really good. They're big, they're physical, and just play really hard. But they present so many different looks, for you, very unique in their blitz packages, and you can just tell they're really really well coached, and they're very unique and I would say exciting on defense.
Yeah.
When I watch them, you get excited based off their scheme and kind of what they do. I mean, they do a lot of really good things, and it's hard to prepare for.
Sure. James Madison and the Bobcats coming up a week from tomorrow, Tuesday night, the 28th at 7 o'clock at UFCU Stadium. 6:15 will be the pregame that night as we wrap up talking about the Dukes. We'll step aside. Fan Q&A is coming up. Still a chance to get your questions in. Come see us up here. We'll do that next on the Eat 'em Up radio show from Learfield.
Kohl's lowest prices of the season are here, and they're so good. You're going to wish you had enough hands for a second cart. Save on cozy tees for women, comfy jeans for boys, refreshed essentials for your home, and so much more. Because when prices are this low, self-control is overrated. Shop Kohl's lowest prices of the season and stock up now. Select styles. Offer ends October 26th. Some exclusions apply. See store or kohls.com for details.
At Christus Santa Rosa Hospital San Marcos, we are proud to provide comprehensive health care to our San Marcos and Central Texas families. From advanced cardiovascular, bariatrics, orthopedic, and surgical care to 24/7 emergency care. In partnership with a team of dedicated primary and specialty care physicians, we are privileged to care for our rapidly growing San Marcos and Central Texas communities. We're here when you need us, bringing more physicians, more services, and more technology closer to home. Christus Santa Rosa Hospital San Marcos. Your health, your life, our purpose.
Are you ready for some Bobcat football? Want to show up to your next tailgate in style? Text TXFARM to 83200 for your chance to win a Bobcats-themed tailgate package. One lucky winner will get a complete tailgate package that includes tents, chairs, coolers, koozies, and more. Register to win this amazing tailgate package by texting TXFARM to 83200. Brought to you by Texas Farm Bureau Insurance, proud partner of Texas State Athletics.
When you're on the move and looking for nonstop college sports action, get the Varsity Network app and take the game with you everywhere. Stream live play-by-play from schools across the country right from your phone, free. Catch hundreds of weekly podcasts, including shows from your favorite teams, all in one place. From football Saturdays to midweek hoops, it's your all-access pass to the college sports world. Whether it's game day or just your daily drive, the Varsity Network app has you covered. Download now and listen live for free on the Varsity Network app.
And welcome back to the Eat 'em Up radio show, coming to you from Jimmy's here in downtown San Marcos. A reminder that the 2025 Texas State football season is presented by HEB. Here, everything is better. Before we get to fan Q&A, a couple of shout-outs, as we like to do on the radio, of course. Want to give a happy birthday wish to our very own Megan Webb. Director of Ticketing at Texas State. His birthday coming up tomorrow. So a lot of birthday shout-outs from the Texas State staff in attendance here tonight at Jimmy's. With that, we go to fan Q&A. First one comes from someone who feels like he's staff, John Navarrete from San Marcos, Texas. Coach, what part of JMU's offense gives you the most heartburn?
Offense, I would say obviously they can run the ball, but when you have a quarterback that's so dynamic, he can run it, he can throw it. I would say their quarterback.
Next question, Danny out of Round Rock. I know he's finally healthy, but is that the best you've seen Chris Dawn play since he's been at Texas State?
Yeah, I think so. And we've seen that all spring. We've seen it all summer. I just hated that Eastern Michigan game, and in the second half he got rolled up pretty bad and got hurt. So he'd be doing this all week, all year long. But it was good to finally see him healthy and playing at that level. And man, he's dynamic. He's a great kid, and just super happy for him.
Coach, a follow-up question to that. I believe Chris Dawn was the first commit you had when you came to Texas State. Is there a special connection between the two of you?
Yeah, he's from Mesquite, and I recruited him extremely hard at UIW, knowing, probably wasn't going to get him, but with the Mesquite connection and just had a real instant connection with the kid.
Yeah.
Just a very likable kid. I call him the mayor of Mesquite. When you go back to Mesquite Horn, everybody knows Chris. Everybody loves Chris. From every coach in the program, the principal, the counselors, everybody loves Chris, and just a great program guy, and just somebody that he didn't redshirt his first year, played sparingly, and then played I think he had 6 touchdowns last year, and he's just on pace for a really really good season.
Coach, I'm going to combine a couple here because they're both about Tuesday night games. Hank and from San Marcos and Bob Honeycutt from San Marcos. What does the weekend preparation look like? Because instead of playing on a game day, you've got Saturdays off. So what does a weekend preparation look like rolling into a Tuesday night?
Yeah, so you just take the days backwards from Tuesday, and we'll get after it on the weekend, and Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday will be work days for us, and we'll get in there and practice like normal, and get ready for a Tuesday game, which is a little unique, but just the days are different. That's really it.
Brent from Blanco, as good as JMU is on defense, does an offense have to dig into the bag of tricks a little, or can they get it done with their normal course of attack?
I think every week you have, set plays that, you've worked on throughout the season that, if the time is right, you try to pull it out. That's not historically what we've been on offense as a trick play, team. But, if it presents itself, we'll obviously have those at our disposal.
Next question, this one a little more family friendly here. Kelly from Blanco, do the kids have any Halloween costumes lined up, and do you ever do family costumes?
Oh yeah, Lincoln, who's in attendance tonight. There you go, Big Link. Oh yeah, he had a big football game yesterday, and so he's doing really well in football right now. He's playing running back and linebacker, taking after other Lincoln at Texas State. He got his first arm sleeve. Had to get his swag right before the game, so we got that going. And then we practiced last night. Me, him, and little brother went in the backyard and did one-on-ones for about an hour and a half straight.
Wow.
So he's getting after
it. Film study next?
Oh yeah, he's getting after it.
Are you questionable on this week's availability report?
No, I'm good. I was scout team quarterback last week, so I'm good. I got warmed up. But yeah, I think he's going to be toothless. Right, Link? He's going to be a dragon, the toothless character from How to Train a Dragon. And then Coop, I don't know what Coop is. Oh, Jaguar. He's a Jaguar. So. Yeah.
So, but do you ever do family costumes?
We haven't done it yet. No.
All right. Well, whenever you do, we need those pictures.
Okay.
Okay. Last one. This comes from Coach Chisholm. This is more of a comment than it is a question. How about those Cowboys? I think she says that tongue in cheek, knowing you're an Eagles fan. But she does note that the Eagles also
had a big one. But I've told you before, I'm Eagles 1, then Cowboys 2. So I still like the Cowboys.
All right, fair enough. Well, Coach, coming up next, we're going to visit with Barrett Gilly, your running backs coach here at Texas State. Certainly, it's a big role he has within your program, but we know it goes beyond that, given the fact that he played here as an alum for this university. You brought him back to Texas State last year. What does he mean to your program?
Yeah, Coach Neely's awesome. gets those running backs prepared, every week, and just a very humble person, and just a man of faith, and somebody that just a great friend, and just means a lot to the whole program, and what it means to go to school here, get your education, and then come back and work for a place that gave you so much. I know he's very grateful to be back here, and he's just awesome, awesome person, awesome family, and super excited that he's here.
Well, that's an interview we're looking forward to coming up next. Coach, thank you so much. Best of luck next Tuesday against
All right.
JMU.
Thank
Thank you.
Coach.
All right, then again, Bobcat head coach G.J. Kinne. And yes, up next, we'll visit with Bobcat running backs coach and former quarterback great Barrett Neely on the Texas State Sports Network. This is the Eat 'em Up radio show from Learfield.
Hi there, this is Steve Eisen, founder of Rebecca Creek Distillery. We built the first distillery in the South in 100 years since Prohibition, right here in San Antonio. We are located at 281 and Bulverde Road. We are open Wednesday through Sundays with live music, barbecue, dog park, and tours every hour. Come check out our new sports bar and watch the game. At Rebecca Creek Distillery, come taste Rebecca Creek Whiskey, Texas Ranger Whiskey in flavors, and Enchanted Rock Vodka in flavors. Please sip responsibly.
Kohl's lowest prices of the season are here, and they're so good. You're going to wish you had enough hands for a second cart. Save on cozy tees for women, comfy jeans for boys, refreshed essentials for your home, and so much more. Because when prices are this low, self-control is overrated. Shop Kohl's lowest prices of the season and stock up now. Select styles. Offer ends October 26th. Some exclusions apply. See store or kohls.com for details.
Which schools will take home the prestigious Learfield Directors Cup for the top college athletic programs for the 2025-26 college athletic season? Check out the criteria and follow the year-long standings of your favorite team at L Directors Cup on the X platform or online at thedirectorscup.com. Trophies will be awarded in June 2026 to the winning institutions in all college sports divisions. The Learfield Directors Cup, powered by NACDA, the crowning achievement in college athletics. When my paycheck comes, I always plan lunch with my friends. So getting to do that 2 days early really hits the spot.
At UFCU, we help you make the most of your money. With over 55,000 fee-free ATMs and payment up to 2 days early, finances fit your life, not the other way around.
Oh, and splitting the check is simple. Just an easy transfer right from the app.
Become a member and open an account today. UFCU, it all starts with you. Must meet eligibility requirements. Visit ufcu.org for more information. Federally insured by NCUA.
Welcome back on the Eat 'em Up radio show with head coach G.J. Kinne. Thankful as always to have him for the kind of the first half hour. Moving into the second half hour here, our coaches spotlight tonight, presented by Texas Farm Bureau Insurance, protecting Texans since 1952. Proud sponsor, Texas State Athletics. We are joined by Barrett Neely, running backs coach, former Bobcat great. Well, Coach, good to see you as always. Welcome back to the show.
Thank you for having me. I'm glad to be here.
Absolutely. And thanks for taking the time to join us. Your second season here at Texas State, your second appearance on the show with me and Brant anyway. And I think as you get into this season, 7 games in, running backs coach, your running back room, a lot of talent there. What's it like to coach that level of talents, kind of diverse talents that those guys have in that room?
Absolutely. And that's just the way I like it. A lot of talent. All those guys are different. Um, Big in stature, small in stature,
Yeah.
fast, a little slow. Lincoln Perry. I tease him all the time, but he's a workhorse. But I love those guys. They're all talented, and it's a blessing to coach them.
Perry and Torrance Burgess, who unfortunately is down with an injury right now, they're kind of similar in size and stature, and maybe the way they get going. Kind of known for the jump cut, Lincoln especially. Really good at that, changing directions quickly and then hitting the hole. Greg Burrell, patient, I think, in finding running lanes. Jalen Jenkins, you miss him, you might not see him again. So when it comes to being the running backs coach, coaching running backs, it's more than just saying, hey, run fast and don't fumble. What's your role in helping guys develop, guys that obviously have that level of talent?
Well, believe it or not, really 90% of what we do is really I teach defense.
Yeah.
That's really what I do. Um, we lock in on the fundamentals from day one. I mean, those guys have to understand box structures. They have to understand fronts. They have to understand pressure looks, blitzes. They have to understand personnel. Um, and that's the way I was taught. And our guys have bought into the way that we prepare. And I think so far it's been truly successful. And they're all smart players. I mean, high football IQs. Um, I mean, they can get on a board and draw up just about every front imaginable. So, very excited. I love how those guys go to work every day.
You spent 6 seasons at UTEP before coming back to San Marcos to be on GJ Kinney's staff. How important was that time out in El Paso in your career and in kind of helping prepare you to come in here with Kinney in his second year and the staff here and the change at Texas State when you got back here?
Yeah, absolutely. Really enjoyed my time out west. Um, played coach for the late Dana Dimmel,
Yeah.
a guy that I love dearly, and he really prepared me for this moment. And it was a moment that he really knew. Um, he figured it would eventually come because he knew it was something I was passionate about, and had a couple opportunities to come back with a few of the coaches, the prior coaches,
Yeah.
previous coaches. I just didn't feel like the time was right, and when I got the call from Coach Kenny, I was like, yes. My wife was like, yes, let's go back home. So we were really excited. The kids were excited. You know, my kids grew up here, so they were like, Dad, we going. We got to go. We're going to go without you. So it's been a blessing, man. I'm so grateful. I mean, every single day, man, I wake up and it's um, just so passionate about what we do and how Coach Kenny leads, and I just want the best for him. So grateful.
You know, I'm sitting here listening to Barrick Neely, and I'm reminded of the Paul Rudd meme where he's, opening up a beer and says, look at us. Barrick and I were students together at
Yeah,
the same
right.
time at Texas State, and here we are now,
Don't tell my age, man.
20 years later, talking again. We used to have you on the radio show when you were a quarterback
Yeah,
here
yeah.
at Texas State. Now you and I each have families, and
Yeah.
but it's great always, Barrick, to be visiting with you. And anytime, I hear your name, I always go back to the '05 season. And as we know, earlier this season, the team had its 20-year reunion before the game against Nichols,
Yeah.
a former South End rival of yours. Is it surreal to think that it's been 20 years since then?
Yes, because I don't feel that old. Um, yeah, it's hard to believe. And that was truly a special moment, kind of seeing all the old faces, all the old guys coming back into town with their families, their kids. Um, I see Coach Bailiff every day, and that in itself is something that's just super surreal. Just seeing him every single day walking the hallways. Um, but yeah, we had a good time, man. We had a good run, and it's just so good to kind of get back to those winning ways.
Yeah.
You know.
The team won 11 games that year,
Yep.
11-3 record that season. The only losses in overtime, two Nichols on the road against Texas A&M, and a game I believe, if memory serves, was also on a Tuesday, by the way, because of the hurricane that was coming in to East
Yeah,
Texas
that's
at the
right.
time, and of course the overtime game in the postseason against Northern Iowa. But I don't want to talk about that. I want to talk
Yeah,
about the
don't, yeah,
wins. I
don't,
want to talk about the win. And again, 11 of them, so many memorable
okay.
moments that year. And for me, the most memorable win had to be the first round playoff game against Georgia Southern.
Okay.
Texas State is 1AA playoff newcomers. Georgia Southern had been a 1AA national powerhouse. They built a 16-point second half lead going into the fourth quarter. You're in a really tough spot. Actually, I think it was 19. Came back and won that game 50-35. You're 1 point down, 35-16
Yeah.
in that game. What do you call about that comeback?
Um, honestly, we just didn't want it to end. We were having such a good time, and I truly felt like they weren't doing anything to stop us. We were kind of stopping ourselves. And I think it was just a matter of me kind of calming down, letting the game kind of come to me a little bit. And I don't know what happened, man. It just kind of clicked. Um, receivers were open. We were running the ball well. Um, defense, we're getting stops. Special teams were making plays.
Coach
Coach
Bayless, I'm
Baylor.
citing your stats: 400 yards passing and over 120 yards rushing that game against the Eagles.
Well, the first play of the game was like an 80-yard run.
I remember that.
I get teased all the time about getting hawked down by running backs. Lincoln Perry never lets me live. I mean, but I was blessed, man. I had great players around me. It wasn't just me by any means. Fred Evans, who I believe is going into the
Team Association Hall of Honor. Yep.
I mean, that guy would take up three gaps on defense. Travis Upshaw, David Simmons. I mean, Coach Bailiff surrounded me with a lot of great players.
Damian Williams, one of your running
Oh, yeah.
backs. Jeremy Castillo, also
Yeah.
a linebacker on that team.
Yeah, Damian was unbelievable that game.
Yes,
I mean,
he
if you
was.
really go back and watch, I mean, I think he scored 3 touchdowns. I mean, he was really finding the voids in that zone coverage. Unbelievable. I mean, Marquis White, you know, Randy Moser, our tight end, who never gets any credit, but Randy would check plays from the tight end position. Um, just a lot of great players, man.
And you mentioned Fred Evans, obviously one of your great teammates, and that '05 team, so many great memories.
Yep.
And you went on to have a professional playing career afterwards. A lot of that spent north of the border in Canada and the CFL, but then you decided to get into coaching. When you did that, was it a goal of yours one day to wind up back here, or did it just happen? And once it did, what did that mean to you?
Yeah, it was always the goal. Um, I remember taking my first football job. Coach Les Davis at San Marcos Baptist Academy, another place that I love. Unbelievable community there. Um, but the goal was always to come back home. Um, I didn't know, how that path or how that will look. But my wife and I, we always talked about it. So, like I said, when I got the call from Coach Kinne, it was like, man, when do you want me there? And like I said, I will wake up every single morning, just ready to go to work for him, and I just love where I'm at. It's a special place, man. So we're on the right track. We're doing really good things.
That San Marcos Baptist Academy time
Yeah.
helped lead them to a state championship in 2015.
There you go.
Giving back to high school kids immediately after your college playing or your professional playing career was over. How special was that time?
It was an unbelievable experience. I'm talking about, man, we work with kids from all over the world on that campus, from China, from Africa. It was just an unbelievable experience. I actually lived on campus, so my kids they experienced a lot of that. Um, I know Lincoln over there, SMA Bear, yes, but it's an unbelievable place, man. Good people, they're doing a really good job, and I owe a lot to Coach Davis, man. He took a chance on me, and I'm forever grateful for him.
Prior to that, Brant mentioned it. You were undrafted Minnesota Vikings as a wide receiver. Then went north of the border to Canada, to Calgary, back into the quarterback position. Played 5 seasons, I think it was, up there. Helped Calgary to a Grey Cup championship. American fans of American football think, yes, there's football in Canada, and that's about the extent of how much they think about it. But we talked about this before. It's very special in Canada. It was a special part of your development as a player, maybe later as a coach. Talk about that time in Canada, what it meant to win that championship there. It's just as important, you said, as it was anywhere else.
Yeah, I don't know what the Minnesota Vikings were thinking. No, I had a great experience there. But Canada was unbelievable. Let me tell you something. Those stadiums are packed out every single week. I mean, you're playing in front of anywhere from 30 to 40,000 fans, and they love football up there. Um, it was an unbelievable experience. My daughter was born up there, dual citizenship, and Calgary is just a beautiful place. Beautiful place, great people. Um, I tell this story all the time. I met a lady at Walmart one night, just shopping for groceries. Um, 3 months later, I was living in her home for free. They basically adopted me, took care of me until my family came up the previous year. So just a lot of nice people, and I'm still connected to that family to this day.
Oh yeah.
But Canada was very, very unique. But man, it was a pleasant surprise. I would have never thought that place would be so beautiful, and it definitely has shaped my career without a doubt.
Lastly, I think as we wrap it up here, looking ahead to next week, you talk about breaking down defenses for your running backs. James Madison, obviously
350-pound nose tackle in the middle. It's probably closer to 400 pounds, but um, a lot of speed on the edges.
Yeah.
Smart linebackers. It's going to be a challenge. Those guys are not 6-1 for nothing.
Yeah, right.
But we're up for it. We're confident in our group. We know what we have in our locker room. Our guys will prepare hard this week. We'll be ready to play for sure.
Absolutely, Coach. As always, great to see you. Thanks for the time tonight.
Thank you, guys.
Barry Neely, running back coach for the Texas State Bobcats. We'll step aside for the moment. Zenere Antoine, women's basketball coach, joins us next on the Eat 'em Up radio show from Learfield.
Texas Disposal Systems is proud to be part of the San Marcos community since 2003. As the official waste and recycling sponsor for Texas State Athletics, we are committed to keeping the stadium clean and environmentally friendly. Bobcat fans, let's make a difference together. Do your part by recycling properly at all games. For more tips and info, visit texasdisposal.com. Texas Disposal Systems. Noticeably different, noticeably better.
The passion.
He's going to take it to the house. Dinner's cooking. Touchdown.
The fury.
There was flames on that ball.
The speed.
35, 40. There he goes. Down the sideline.
It's the college football.
For the end zone. Got it for 6 points. You cannot hitch the wagon. Put the ponies in the bars. Back to the end zone. 20.
This is the college football bliss. Listen all season long on College Sports Now on the Varsity Network.
Hi, this is Fox San Antonio's Chuck Picatinny, and I'm News 4's Don Harris. One of the best things about our jobs is calling the games on Taco Cabana's Thursday Night Lights, every Thursday on CW35. Goes right and then takes it right back up the middle, and look at him finish the run. Firing, got it hard. If you're interested in video production, journalism, or covering sports for a living, our stations have job opportunities you might want to check out. To see the possibilities, go to foxsanantonio.com/careers.
A true teammate takes on every day with a winner's attitude, gets up when they fall down, and leaves it all on the field. There's a group of teammates who do all these things every single day. But they're more than your typical athlete. They're kids facing unthinkable medical circumstances. Team Impact matches children facing serious illness and disability with college sports teams, creating a long-term, life-changing experience for everyone involved. Join us in the movement to get all kids in the game. Visit teamimpact.org to learn more. Team Impact, all in, all together.
And welcome back to Jimmy's for the Eat 'em Up radio show.
Excited. Had over the years, the student athletes have had. So I'm excited to go into this venture.
Yeah, Coach, when you look ahead, to this coming season, you have to also take a look back. At least I'd like to the off season for you a bit, coming off the season you had from a year ago, in order to put you in the best position possible to contend for another Sun Belt championship like the one you won 2 years ago when you were named as Sun Belt Coach of the Year. For that accomplishment, what was the off season like?
The off season was truly giving some of our players some tender loving care. We're unfortunate. We had two ACLs within last year where they were starters who were guards. So just giving them the confidence they needed. They made sure that they stayed. They really trusted and believed in our vision. We added a lot of pieces in with that, a fair amount of transfers as well. And so just being able to find the right group of women that really wanted to get after it in the Sun Belt, not knowing that we're going to make the move, to be honest with you, at that time, and really wanting to be Bobcats to find a way to win a championship. We really, really make sure that the young women that we bring in understand that you're brought here for a purpose, and that purpose is to get your education, but like it's education and then really compete for that championship. And so we're hoping that we brought that group of women in. We'll see when we roll out here in 2 weeks.
Well, coach, the life of somebody coaching in college athletics is roster turnover, especially from one year to the next. You have players that exhaust their eligibility, they graduate. You have some that transfer out of the program, transfer in. You lost 11 players, you gained 9 over the offseason. What was the biggest emphasis for you in recruiting to lock and reload for this year?
So you're definitely going to see we're a lot more athletic this year. We're a lot more athletic. I think for this last year within the Sun Belt Conference, we've got a group that can truly compete. We're somewhat homogenous in our size. I mean, we've got a lot of 5'9s to 6'1s that can play both guard and forward positions, which is nice. There's things that we're going to be able to do that we haven't been able to do in the past. We've had some coaches come in from JUCO and high school have definitely said, "Wow, I can see the difference. Your team is a lot more athletic. Y'all are playing faster." So I'm excited to see that different, right, fresh eyes saw that for us. And so I'm excited about this. I don't want to necessarily call it look, but it's a different look. And we're really excited about these young women on our roster.
Coach, 214 wins, and you're going on 15 season here at Texas State. It's not just you. You've got your staff here with you
Sure.
today. Brant and I have been with y'all behind the scenes. We know how hard they work. Just how important are they to the success of you in this women's basketball program?
You don't win without stability. I always say that. Just like in your own home, right? In whatever household you grow up in, whether it's a single parent home or multiple parent home, a blended family, the stability is really important. And so having people around you with a common vision, where you start by loving and caring for the athletes, but at the same time, when you love and care for folks, you're able to push them, right? And push them to a point where they're able to excel and succeed. But when they struggle, you're able to love on them as well. It's important. And I have that from my coaching staff. I ride hard for my coaching staff. We really enjoy each other. You spend so much time together and lifting each other up and making sure at the same time, right? A lot of people don't think, I'm glad you have this question. A lot of people don't think about the mental health care of our coaching staffs and administration. We pour so much into our athletes, right? A lot of us have aging parents. We have different things. Sometimes maybe we're aging as well. Uh, but there's things that pop up within their lives, and at the same time, we're here to care for these student athletes in their path. So it's really important you're with a good group of people that care about each other. Otherwise, you couldn't survive in this business.
Brant touched on a little bit with the transfer portal and what it is now for roster from one season to the next. All the new faces that you talk about, the portal, it's changed the way teams are put together. How big is the challenge for you and your staff in what has almost become year-round recruiting now?
So we've embraced the challenge, right? So the difference you notice this year with the student athletes brought in, the majority of them, even if they're a 4-year student athlete, at some level they played junior college. We've gone that route where we have more young women that have touched a junior college at some point. That gives her playing opportunity, right? She's played quite a bit. In addition to that, she's also seen a different kind of adversity that you maybe not have when you're at a 4-year college. So I like that. The thing that you find on the basketball court is they work through things faster, whatever that thing is. They kind of let it roll off their back. They don't sit in it as long as maybe a 4-year student athlete would. So that's been fun in a practice setting, because there's times where you're thinking to yourself, it'll be, oh, this is going to be really tough. We really struggle, but boom, they bounce back, right? A little bit faster than maybe you would have expected.
Maybe a little bit lighter hearted on your roster, Coach. You got a KP, you got a Kyla, you got a Kasia, you got a Kalia, you got a Kyra, you got a Mia, you got a Mila. Do you operate on initials, or do you have like 2 and 3 heads turn around when you're trying to talk to somebody?
We mess it up daily. I mean, I try to go through the whole. We have Kasia, Kylia, Kira, Kalia. Did I already say Kasia?
Yes.
You did.
Okay, see, yeah, there's 5 of them. So it's funny. So we just got done playing close scrimmage against North Texas, and we had 3 Ks in. And normally, most coaches know, right? You're doing initials. And I was so messed up that I was like, you know what? That's it. We're going by last names. I was like, you know who I'm talking about? Because you have a vision in your mind, but when you're drawing it up with that many Ks, they're like, well, which K is this? And then we have 2 KMs. There's a Kyla. That's it, Kyla. There's a KM and there's a KM. We have 2 KMs. So one's KMac, right? And then the other one we just call Murph.
Murph.
But yeah, it's
That
her
fits.
last name's Murphy.
Okay.
Right. So, but no, you're right. You don't think of those things when you're recruiting. You just
Right.
you take a look at their ability to play and are they studious.
Coach, I know a big focus for you is is development on and off the court, not just the basketball part, but the personal part. Why is that so important to you? Who have been some major influences in that for you along your career?
My biggest influence have been my coaches, right? And I'm different in some ways and not so different from my generation. The majority of the coaches that I came up under were male coaches, but there were male coaches who coached women, and they put a heavy emphasis on going well beyond the basketball floor, right? So I had a coach when I was in college who took us. We were in New York, and we went ice skating in Central Park. I mean, that's quite a different experience, right?
Sure.
You hear about people may not know who Rick Neuheisel is when he took the whole team out to go skiing in Colorado. I've always appreciated coaches that go well beyond the basketball court. When I was a student athlete, I remember going to Disneyland and we were playing at the time Alabama and just talking with those girls. They're like, we're not going anywhere. We're just sitting in our hotel. I was like, wow, my coach is pretty cool. We're going to Disneyland, right? So I think that's important. There's just so much more to these young women and young men than the sport itself. And by giving them an understanding of that, knowing what athletics can do for you, where it takes you, how much you can learn outside of the basketball playing court, and then how that correlates in the real world, is really important to me. So we bring that up even on the basketball court, right? We talk about very real life situations, and I think that's important. So they feel like it's just more than just playing sport, right? That there is more to it. It's interwoven into their everyday lives.
Coach, you touched on this earlier, the Pac-12, and we've had a lot of coaches from Texas State across all sports join us here on the show, and that question's come up. And so I'm kind of curious about your, thoughts on the move in terms of women's basketball, what the competition will look like. I'm sure you're very familiar with your alma mater, Colorado State, which will be joining the Pac-12 as well. I know your husband Ron used to be a coach at Fresno State. They'll be a part of the conference as well coming up. But overall, what are your thoughts on moving into this new conference this time next year?
It's an awesome upgrade for men's and women's basketball. Right? It's not just going to be highly competitive. You're going to see a different style of play, much bigger, right? I would say a little looking like the Big Ten women's basketball, but a little bit more movement and savviness, not as grindy. So that's exciting. I know that we're going to have to make some strong changes in our recruiting and who we recruit. We've been very honest with the young women we've been recruiting that we've had to make shifts away from certain players and move into fun areas, to be honest with you, being able to upgrade from that standpoint. But I'm really excited about it. The thing that makes me most excited is you get to play out west, but the majority of our games are still going to be here at home. So I think that's fun. We're able to bring that style of basketball here. If you take a look at the men and women's side, there's a lot of correlations as far as top 25 programs people have seen postseason play. It'll be fun to bring that level of basketball to Sandmo.
Well, Coach, again, we don't have a show here next week, but next Monday there's a very special event for your program here, Chimmies.
Yeah, we
if you
do.
would like to
I've
talk
already
about
heard
that.
from some folks who are going to be here next week. We're going to have a meet and greet. Gives you a chance to get to know our student athletes. We're going to have all of them here but one. For them to get to meet our fans in the community and our community get to meet them so they can start putting names with some of all these K's that we've got.
Yes, exactly.
Right. Good luck. We'll help you. We need name tags, names with faces so they can cheer them on because they work hard.
And a reminder about the times of the event next week.
That time next week is at 6 o'clock. Yeah,
6 to 8. Yes. All right, 6 to 8 here at
Nods
Chimmies.
from across the table.
Yeah.
Come out, support women's basketball ahead of the football game the following night. A great chance for camaraderie for Texas State fans. Coach, thank you so much for joining us, and best of luck in the opener 2 weeks from now.
I appreciate it. Eat 'em up, Cats.
All right, then again, Coach.
Bobcat football? Want to show up to your next tailgate in style? Text TXFARM to 83200 for your chance to win a Bobcats-themed tailgate package. One lucky winner will get a complete tailgate package that includes tents, chairs, coolers, koozies, and more. Register to win this amazing tailgate package by texting TXFARM to 83200. Brought to you by Texas Farm Bureau Insurance, proud partner of Texas State Athletics.
Hi Hi there, this is Steve Eisen, founder of Enchanted Rock Vodka. Enchanted Rock Vodka is a premium vodka made in the Texas Hill Country using limestone filtered water. Enchanted Rock Vodka is 10 times distilled, gluten-free, frost filtered, and has a crisp, clean finish. Also try our new flavors, blueberry, watermelon, and pink lemonade made with real fruit. Enchanted Rock Vodka, follow your spirit.
Aw, shucks. The game's on TV, but I can't listen to the call of my favorite team broadcasters.
Never fear, Sync My Game is here.
Sync my game?
Yes, Sync My Game. If you have a DVR and streaming device, head to syncmygame.com from Learfield. It's never been easier to hear the impassioned voices of your favorite radio crew synced with the TV.
Wow, thank you, Mr.
Just remember, syncmygame.com.
At Christus Santa Rosa Hospital San Marcos, we are proud to provide comprehensive health care to our San Marcos and Central Texas families. From advanced cardiovascular, bariatrics, orthopedic, and surgical care to 24/7 emergency care. In partnership with a team of dedicated primary and specialty care physicians, we are privileged to care for our rapidly growing San Marcos and Central Texas communities. We're here when you need us, bringing more physicians, more services, and more technology closer to home. Christus Santa Rosa Hospital San Marcos. Your health, your life, our purpose.
Tonight's broadcast of the Eat 'em Up Radio Show can be heard